Hi everyone, I'm Srishti, and I just finished my freshman year of college at UConn, and to be completely honest, semester 1 was a little bit rough. I graduated as high school valedictorian, so I wasn't really expecting managing 5 courses to be something super challenging, but I was wrong. Deadlines kept pouring in from every direction, and as soon as I missed one, I was almost destined to miss the next one. And before I realized it, life quickly got overwhelming. Managing 5 different platforms to organize myself also wasn't helping either. And so when semester 2 came around, I was determined not to give up. I decided to move everything into one singular doc, one place to track all my assignments, deadlines, and tests. But this still required hours of manual entry, and I still had nothing to help me study. And so I realized there had to be a better way. And that's why I built Clarifie, which is an academic manager for students. It helps them plan their day-to-day and long-term graduation requirements. And this is not just my story. Every single semester, 19.5 million college students are handed a syllabus and are expected to figure things out from their own. And the current solutions that are available include Google Calendar, Notion, and in-person academic advising, but these are often inefficient and still require students to do the manual entry on their own. So with Clarifie, all students have to do is upload their syllabus, and our AI will scan the entire document to pick out key dates for quizzes, exams, and assignments to help them stay on track. Our smart planner will create an automatic calendar for students, and because we know that students are sometimes comfortable with the tools they're already using, our planners are completely integratable into their normal calendars. On the larger scale, Clarifie will allow students to track their graduation progress, which is a much needed support system because only 65% of college students across the United States graduate in 4 years. And finally, our vision with Clarifie is to integrate a system that will allow students to study on the platform as well, and we'll be doing that by introducing an AI study buddy. All students have to do is upload their course requirements and syllabus, and they'll be provided an AI tutor to help them study. Our business model has 2 levels. We'll operate on a freemium model, but our premium model will be offered to students at $199 a month or $599 per semester, and it'll include unlimited AI usage as well as a limitless planning horizon. This is an example of the early prototype that I built, but as an MCV and econ major, I definitely don't have any experience in building it, so I used Bubble, which is a no-code platform, and I quickly realized that building it itself is not for me. So I reached out to Jose, who is a comp sci major at the University of Connecticut, and he's currently building our full, hopefully launchable version of Clarifie. And our goal is to have a prototype good to go by early August and have an official launch by late August, which is back to school season. In the meantime, I'm leveraging my skills as a marketing intern at a Silicon Valley startup by performing customer discovery and brand positioning. I'm also researching possible social media campaigns that we could launch to increase traction during the fall. That being said, I would love to hear your feedback and any thoughts you might have on Clarifie and our model. I'd also love to hear from you if you have any experience in EdTech, university relationships, and if you know any college students who might be willing to try it out, I'd love to connect. Thank you. Yep.
So understand what you're looking to do. I think you made a great presentation, good stage presence. Congratulations on coming through as a freshman.
Thank you.
So lots of praise there. Have you worked with any students and describe your process for verifying how you've proven that there's a need for this product?
Yes, so the first step that I did was definitely reach out to people I knew, but again, there's definitely going to be bias when you reach out to people that you know. They're always going to be trying to support me. So recently, in the past few weeks, I've been doing cold networking on LinkedIn, and I've been trying to reach out to any student at any university across the United States, and I've been taking the time to meet with them virtually, and I've been interviewing them, and some of the questions that I asked involved asking, I didn't actually the way I asked was I didn't provide much information about what Clarifie is because I wanted to know from them whether they actually would need something like this and if they could come up with it on their own almost. So one of the questions that I asked was, what do you feel like is a gap in your education? What would help you better be able to support yourself? And something that students said is that a lot of them take the time at the beginning of the semester to scan all their syllabuses and write down deadlines, but they said that it takes a lot of time. And based on that feedback, I actually shifted the model. So the original prototype was going to be something that just served as an AI study buddy because that was the only thing that I was missing. And once I talked to people, I refined it to incorporate this kind of a short-term and a long-term graduation planner.
Yeah, but it opens up sort of another channel where one place where universities are struggling is finding mentors or
Yes.
what's the name of the person?
Advisor?
That's the one. And preparing advisors to students, and so now this starts to cover that gap as well.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to go ahead and then you could go?
Yeah, so I'm going to echo what you said. Awesome.
Thank you.
You did a great job. It's been a long time since I've been a student. From what I remember the Spain. I think I kind of want to ask you about your premium model. How did you land on those numbers? Because when I think of unlimited AI usage, that can quickly get very expensive. So I'm just curious, about your costs and how you see that model working. And then also, are you planning to go direct to consumers or the students, or are you planning to do more like going to UConn as an enterprise model?
Yeah, so I'll begin by answering your first question about the pricing models first. I did some research on like how tokens work for AI, and it's honestly not that expensive. It's around 1 million tokens, and they cost like a few cents. So if you can only imagine like how far that could get us. So we have pretty good profit margins even with the $199 per month, and we also compared it to existing models that students are already using and platforms that are for notes. Often, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but students often use like GoodNotes, they'll use Study Fetch and all these different tools, and they're ranged like maybe like some of them range from like $199 to $10.99 a month. So this is comfortably in the middle. And then none of the other competitors that we have actually do a semesterly plan, but this is something that would help students because they don't always want to pay for those 3 or 4 months in the summer where they're not going to be actually using the product, but need to continue the subscription just for the sake of being able to use it the next semester. So there's our pricing explained. And then could you repeat your second question for me?
So your customers, so are you thinking of going direct to the students, or are you thinking more going to the universities themselves and offering this as like a package so that they can get their students on board and faculty?
Yes, so our initial goal is for the prototype to be tested with individual students, but in the long term, we do have it in the back of our mind to kind of launch it into the platforms that universities are already using, such as like UConn uses Blackboard or Husky CT, and then universities across the United States use Canvas and other LLMs. So something along those lines. I'm also actually working with Katie Britt at UConn. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with her, but she's kind of head of innovation and entrepreneurship, and I'm hoping that she'll actually be able to help me get this to UConn. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely, I echo a lot of that. I love your presentation.
Thank you.
As now we'll graduate, so I'm sorry for old, but yeah, I wish I had that when I was still a student. And one of the best things that I did that really helped me somewhere around my junior or senior year was I would take all my syllabuses with all the due dates for things, and I would create a task in Todoist for every single one of them. And I put it on my calendar so that way I wouldn't miss deadlines. I still did, but
Yeah.
absolutely wish there was something that made it a lot easier. And especially for your near-term vision with the graduation planning and making sure you have all the classes. I wrote that down and I was trying to type it all out in Notion along with the conversation with my academic advisor, who I'm sure was trying their best, but they're all notoriously awful. And
Yes.
they don't really know how to help specifically, so I had to figure it out myself.
I feel the struggle.
All that to say, I love the idea.
Thank you.
And I just want to give my compliments.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yep.
So you're able to scan the initial schedule and plan, and sometimes the plans change.
Yes.
And so I assume you have, in the future, will have some sort of a email MCP or something to scrape incoming content and try to automate and update things as needed.
Yes, so our plan is like if a syllabus changes, you can automatically just upload the revised version of the syllabus, and future dates will be revised, not previous ones, but anything upcoming will be revised, and you can still integrate it if you just upload the new version into your existing calendars. And then for like sometimes you don't really see reflect the change in the syllabus, so we'll have an option where you can actually manually still input tasks, but the whole point is to kind of eliminate the manual work. We'll have that as a side option. It's not really the preferential like first option.
Yeah, like if the instructor or professor were to mention verbally in class that something's moving, like you have to update it yourself. But,
Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
So, I understand the need for college students, but have you considered high school students, younger students, because this is more appealing for parents at that age, and managing
That's
all
right.
of these different apps and all these different systems. Of course, this is having another app, but has that been something you kind of looked into at all?
Yeah, I was thinking about it for a while, but the only constraint that we would have with that is that our whole app kind of revolves around the idea that you have to put in a syllabus first, and at that level, I don't recall ever receiving any syllabus. So, and most of the assignments that you get in high school or something are kind of like spontaneous, like you'll be notified of it maybe like 2 or 3 days before. So it's not really too helpful in that sense because you can't really see the long-term vision at the same time. But I think we could definitely revise it later on. Right now, it might just be too early because we're trying to find our focus first and then expand, kind of establish ourselves in the market. Yeah. Yep, go ahead.
So I missed the beginning, but I caught the end, so it was very good. So before I covered this, that's great. How do you think about what's to stop someone else from doing this? So how do you think about what makes you different, especially in a world where AI, not that everyone is doing it, I'm not following like, hey, everybody's using AI, because that's not necessarily true. But how do you think about what makes you different and stops someone else like, oh, I'll just throw it into AI? How do you think about your differentiation?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest factors will be that our AI is like specifically going to be trained for this purpose, which takes a lot of effort, as my partner is telling me right now. So that's definitely like, it takes a while. And if you try to put something into like Claude or any other large language model, it'll definitely do the work for you, but it won't be able to do it to the accuracy or the level of comprehensiveness that a AI tailored to do the specific task will be able to do it. And another point would be that I've actually, when I was doing market research, I realized that there are current tools like, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of this tool, but there's an existing tool that already kind of does the syllabus feature, but the problem is that they didn't market it well, so nobody really knows about it, and of all the people that I interviewed, nobody ever actually mentioned using it before either, so it's really low quality and they don't market it well. So I think one of our greatest benefits will be just having the experience that I do in marketing and being able to bring it out to a lot of people. And we've already started doing this. We've participated in like several pitches at UConn too. Like we were a really early stage then. We didn't have the idea fully like narrowed down either, but we still just wanted to get the word out. And there's a lot of people on campus that actually know about it now. So they've been texting me like, oh, we're looking forward to the launch and like I hope to use it in the future, which is like really exciting even before like pre-prototype that there's people excited to use something. So that will definitely help us with getting kind of like, I also like one of the things is like once you have it like established, it's harder for people to kind of switch over. Even if there is a duplicate, it's kind of more or less likely for people to like switch over because they're already comfortable with using something. Oh wow, there's lots of questions. How about, let's start with you and then we can kind of like zigzag our way.
Forgive me for the technical question, but you just mentioned that sort of one of the advantages of your offering is having customized or like tailored accuracy. Is the idea that you'd be training your own custom model, you'd be fine-tuning a frontier model, or you'd be using a sort of like existing platform?
I think, I'm not too familiar with this side because my co-founder is doing most of it, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to be taking our existing model and customizing it.
So like fine-tuning it largely?
Yeah. All right, go
I'm
ahead.
going to follow on to what I just talked about briefly. because I think this might influence your go-to-market strategy.
Oh, really?
And more so influence your target customer. So with this type of software, there is no protections. You know,
Yeah.
you can't get it patented, you're not protected. So in order to actually have a footing or a chance, you know, to beat out your competitors, it really is speed to market, but
Yeah.
also making it very difficult for people to change the software that they're using. So I would challenge you to possibly look at enterprise and going straight to universities.
Really? Yeah.
And maybe if you have an in at UConn and they're willing to do that, start with UConn. And
Definitely.
get that data and get that buy-in from the university, and then slowly start to bring it out to other universities, figure out what works. Because then the students can't change.
That's a good point. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hi. So I missed the first part. I teach at the University of Hartford. I teach entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And I love the idea. Going back to Jackson's point about high school, you know, what we do at the college level is we compact things into a syllabus, right? It's just that it's a contract. High school has all these different documents, sports schedules, class schedules. That might be a very good use case for you to consider, just because instead of one document being uploaded, it's multiple documents.
Yeah.
It's into the calendar, right? So, same thing, it's just N versus one upload.
Yeah.
On the institution enterprise route, it's a long haul,
That's true.
right? A lot of bureaucracy. So it might be easier just to start with students while you're leading that forward.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like debating both now because I really like the idea of reaching out to UConn first, because I do think that since it's not patentable, it might be like of use to kind of have it secured first. But then there's also the drawback that I haven't had students actually test it first, so I don't really have too much data on that. So I might try to run an initial cohort first and then try to reach out to universities, but I'll definitely have to think about this. This is like really good to hear. Yep, go ahead. Or do you want to go ahead and like?
Do you own the URL?
I think so. I'm not completely sure. Again, my partner's doing all the coding side. Yep, go ahead.
I'd love to, so the longer term vision you mentioned was the AI tutor. I'm curious, I'm not sure if the right way to frame it is features or capabilities or what kind of mini games, but what is your vision for an AI tutor?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of AI tutors already on the market, so it's not something that's super special, but the point of incorporating the AI tutor is just the fact that students don't have to like go to multiple different like platforms to kind of use and get help, because that was something that I definitely struggled with my first semester, just trying to navigate like so many different platforms that it just got overwhelming. So just the whole point of that is kind of just to have everything on one platform. I haven't really thought through too much of like the details yet, so I'll have to get back to you on that one. But yeah, that's like something for the future, and it's not the most pressing because there's already people who've been doing that. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. It's a good idea, so I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So one thing I don't think I heard you saying, you know, forgive me if I'm wrong here, have you thought about students with learning disabilities and how you integrate support for that into the app?
I have not actually thought about that yet. That is a great point. I will definitely have to think more. Do you have any ideas by any chance? Because I haven't really worked closely with anybody who might be like struggling with like learning disabilities, but so I don't really know where to start with that, honestly.
I don't. You know, my niece is autistic. She's on the autism spectrum, so you know, there's a lot of ways that you know my sister and her have to navigate.
Yeah.
Education, and one of my old mentors is the executive director for the Center for Children with Special Needs here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So it's something I can ask him.
Definitely, yes, please.
So I don't have any suggestions.
No, I think it's a great point. I'll have to definitely think through that. All right.
You know what this means for the classroom, though? You know, it means that I'm going to be up there yakking yak, and then the system is going to synthesize all my notes while you browse the internet.
Yeah, they do that now anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't actually listen to you.
Sounds like a good opportunity to work with teachers, so instead of them spending all their time writing out that syllabus, the AI is just going to extract it and just cut one layer, use it as a tool for
Sure,
your students.
very true. I like that.
That's actually a really good idea, because if they can program it in a way that's easy for the AI to read automatically, that would kind of save time for everybody. Yeah.
Give them more control, the teachers can update it too.
Yeah.
So,
It's wonderful. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the feedback.